Choosing the right customization technique can be the difference between a high-end brand and a total waste of money. Pick the wrong one and you're looking at a magnet for 0 sales, or worse, a wave of unhappy customers demanding refunds. But looking at that list of techniques and all the technical names, let's be real, it kind of feels like you need an engineering degree just to pick a t-shirt. In this video, I'm breaking down every Printful customization technique in plain English. No university required. By the end, you'll know exactly which one is going to work best for your design idea and, more importantly, save you from making an expensive mistake. Alright, let's dive into the big 4 techniques. It sounds serious, right? These are the techniques you're gonna see most often for apparel. First up, DTG printing. DTG stands for direct to garment. Think of it as a giant inkjet printer, but for your clothes. The ink actually sinks into the shirt's fibers. Because the ink lives inside the fabric, it feels super soft and breathable. If you've got a design with tons of colors, tiny details, or a vintage faded look, DTG is your go-to. Now, if you want something sharp and detailed, you want DTFlex. It's the gold standard for vibrancy and durability. This is Printful's exclusive direct-to-film technique. See, unlike DTG, the ink isn't sprayed directly onto the fabric. It's a super thin film that we print on and then heat press directly onto the fabric. It's like a flexible sticker that's built to hold on tight to the garment. And the best part, unlike a lot of other direct-to-film services where you get these messy white glue marks around the edges, this process is completely clean. You get a crisp finish every time without any annoying white residue. See that? It's crisp, it's durable, and the colors are incredibly vibrant. Since the print sits on top of the fabric, the ink doesn't get soaked up, so even a bright and detailed logo on a pitch black hoodie is gonna look sharp. If you're doing polyester blends, DTFlex is the winner. And finally, drumroll please, the one you can't help but touch, the 3D masterpiece, Embroidery. No ink, no film, just thread. This is easily the best way to make your brand feel boutique or expensive without actually spending that much more. Now, you've actually got 2 ways to go with thread. The first is standard embroidery. This is your classic look where you choose from 15 vibrant thread colors and can combine up to 6 of them in a single design. It's the perfect choice for logos with clear details and bold, solid colors. The second option is unlimited color embroidery. Yup, unlimited. It's an innovative technique where the machine uses color reel technology. It works by using a single recycled white thread that is actually dyed instantly while it's being stitched. Because of that, the thread can transform into nearly any color you can imagine, giving you unique design options like gradients and high detail shadows without the machine ever having to stop or switch needles. You don't have to compromise on your palette to get that premium look. You can do multicolored designs, solid colors, and even smooth gradients. But a quick heads up for beginners. You gotta keep it simple here. A needle and thread just can't do those tiny details as well as a printer can. You wanna think big, bold, and clean designs here. There are some specific rules of thumb you'll want to follow, like keeping your text at least 0.25 inches tall and about 0.05 inches thick. Even for a basic line, you want to stay at 0.05 inches to keep the satin stitch looking solid. And when it comes to unlimited color embroidery, you'll want to keep your design elements at least 0.79 inches wide. Small elements aren't just harder to stitch, they can actually prevent the color transition from happening at all. Find the full list of these and other little nuances in the embroidery guidelines in the description below. Definitely check those out after the video and before you start designing, so your first embroidered products come out exactly the way you envisioned. Oh, and if you can't decide between thread and ink, you don't actually have to. For some apparel items, you can use embroidery, then level it up by adding a DTG printed design to the back of a t-shirt or hoodie, or even to an outside or inside label. This is a winning combo if you want your brand to look like it belongs in a premium retail display. You can have a clean embroidered logo on the chest for that professional branding, and then a massive detailed DTG print on the back. It's truly the best of both worlds. Lastly, let's talk about knitting. This one is a bit of an outlier because it isn't actually being added to fabric at all. Unlike other techniques where we apply ink or thread to a finished product, We use Jacquard knitting technique to weave your design directly into the product using different colored yarns. It's an intricate process that knits the pattern into the structure of the garment, so essentially, your design is the fabric. This makes the final piece feel incredibly premium and durable. It's never going to fade or peel because the colors are built into the garment structure. It's the go-to choice for retro-style patterns or your own take on ugly Christmas sweaters. Something to keep in mind, since you're working with physical yarn, you have a specific 36 color palette to play with, and you can pick up to 4 colors at a time for your design. You can also choose between the solid mode for clean logos or the pixelated mode for experimenting with gradients or more detailed art. It's a unique way to add something extra special to your store's lineup. Next up, let's talk about the techniques that let you cover every inch, or in some cases, almost every inch of a product with your design. At Printful, we group these into 2 categories: all-over print, or AOP, and sublimation products. Now, they both actually use the same tech, which is basically like transferring a tattoo onto your product. And unlike temporary tattoos you got in gum wrappers as a kid, this one actually looks good and stays sharp forever. In most printing, the ink just sits on top of the surface, but in this process, we print your design onto special transfer paper, then use a heat press to bond the dye directly to the material. Because the color is absorbed instead of just sitting on top, the print feels totally smooth and won't peel or crack. When we talk about all-over printing, we're referring to a wide variety of items where the design is pressed onto fabric, like leggings, sweatshirts, hoodies, and dresses, but also things like flags, backpacks, tote bags, and pillows. These are printed on big sheets of fabric first, then precision cut and sewn together. This is why your design flows so perfectly across the seams without any awkward gaps. Now, when you're choosing your all-over print products, you'll notice 2 main fabric options: synthetic and cotton. If you want those bold, high-contrast graphics that practically jump off the fabric, all-over synthetic, which prints on polyester, is your winner. It has a polished finish and produces incredibly sharp details and vibrant colors, which is why it's the go-to for activewear and performance gear. On the other hand, if your priority is natural and soft fabric, you'll want all-over cotton. Printful is actually the only one in the game offering this right now. While most all-over printing is strictly polyester, this gives you that breathable, soft matte finish and a more natural, subtle color expression. It's perfect for comfort-focused lines that still want total coverage across every seam, but with a more muted look. Because it's cotton, it'll have that slightly lived-in feel right out of the box. When we talk about sublimation, we're using that same transfer paper and heat press, but for ready-made items like mugs, which is a huge print-on-demand bestseller, as well as laptop sleeves, throw blankets, and even shower curtains. So if you've ever wanted to cover your entire bathroom in your cat's cute face, this is how you do it. But what about the rest of the printing techniques? Yes, we're not done yet. First up, UV printing. While researching for this video, I actually learned this is also called UV curing, which sounds very high-tech, right? We use this for most of the hard surfaces like water bottles, tumblers, phone cases, and even glass. Unlike other methods that rely on heat, this one uses high-intensity ultraviolet lamps to instantly dry or cure the ink the second it hits the surface. The secret sauce here is that because the ink solidifies so fast, the finish is incredibly durable and scratch-resistant. So if you want your design to survive being tossed in a gym bag or rattling around in a car cup holder, UV is the way to go. Then we have digital printing. This is the method most of us are familiar with, printing directly on paper, but at Printful, you're getting access to these massive industrial-grade printers. This is how you get those rich, gallery-quality colors that, I'm sorry, you're just not gonna get with that old printer sitting in your home office. We're talking posters, stickers, wall art, canvas, journals, notebooks. Digital printing also lets you get a little out of the ordinary with your catalog. You can do wall calendars, jigsaw puzzles, or even wrapping paper sheets. Wrapping paper has actually become a huge favorite for sellers. It's the perfect way to tap into that holiday rush at the end of the year. So that's the lineup. I know it can feel like a lot at first, but definitely take your time exploring these techniques. The best part is that you don't have to choose just one. The beauty of print on demand is that you can experiment with all these without ever having to buy a single piece of inventory upfront. Now, if you want to see exactly how a product goes from a digital file to a finished garment, I actually went on a field trip to one of our facilities to show you our all-over printing process in action. You can watch that behind the scenes tour next. Let me know in the comments, which technique are you going to try first? I'll see you in the next video, and in the meantime, happy selling!